Welcome back to Ride and Steel. In today's program, I want to introduce you all to a group of bikers that call themselves the Hooligan Riders. Founded by Edward Stanhope in 2014, their mission is to reach out to families with children dealing with illness and to do their part to ease the financial duress that so often occurs when someone gets ill. They hold charity rides and events to raise funds for the families they adopt and basically take the family under their wing with continued support through the years. Today's ride takes place out of Big Moose Harley-Davidson in Portland, Maine, where I was to meet up with my host, Todd Sanders. We're here today at Big Moose Harley-Davidson for the Hooligans Ride for Jackson. And how much do you know about it, Todd?
I know absolutely nothing.
You know nothing, so I'm here to educate you, right? Well, I guess Jackson is a young 7-year-old boy, 6 or 7 years old with cancer. He will be here at some point at the end destination, I believe. But we have a lot of hooligan riders, and there's another reason why these hooligans, that we're here today. I've been trying to get with the hooligans all summer long, and my schedule is just filled with obligations elsewhere. But I've been wanting to cover them because they are all about children. We do a lot of things for children, with the bullying program and when we're covering rides. But they lost their president also, and to see them still carrying the torch is a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah. It was tragic. Obviously, the accident that happened several weeks ago now, and it took an individual in the motorcycle community who was, like we try to do, is putting the greater cause ahead of themselves and promoting a very worthy cause. Obviously, I think anything to do to support children is important because of my career. But it's unfortunate, but you have to tip your hat to the members of the group because they've continued to move on, and they're going to continue the hooligans supporting the causes that they support. So we applaud that.
Right. So I know you're only here for a short while, and you got to head from Massachusetts. Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Heading south.
Yeah, I'm going to a Patriots game.
Oh, you're going to a Patriots game. All right.
Atlanta Falcons, New England Patriots Super Bowl rematch. So.
Yeah, you like going to those games, huh? Are they expensive? Yeah. How do you afford that? Because I know I don't pay you.
That's who you know. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But that's why I haven't been doing these, because it costs so much out of my own pocket to do these events. Great.
The guilt trip has been put on me. So listen, while I have you here, why don't you say we go just introduce ourselves to a couple of people here and talk to them about why they're here to support this cause, and if it happens to be a hooligan rider, let's find out what inspired them to become one.
Well, I'll tell you, all we got to do is just walk around with Apollo here. He's a magnet, so people will come right up.
That's right. That's why Todd got the dog.
We'll just strap the mic around him and be good to go.
Yeah, Todd got the dog because he needed a magnet, and he's found one. So I see an interesting-looking couple right over here. Let's go check them out.
You're gonna just film as we move?
Absolutely. Let's just go. You ready? Well, who do we have here?
My name is Jody.
And where are you from, Jody?
South Portland.
South Portland.
Yep.
And how did you get wind of this ride here?
Through my friend John, who's standing right over there. We've been riding with you people for many, many years.
And this one here, are you aware of what we're doing here today?
It's a cancer ride today, right? For a gentleman, yes, I know.
For a young boy.
For a young boy, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know more than I did, so I applaud you for that.
That's okay.
Right. So,
everybody needs help.
What line of medicine? I mean, which population do you work with? Is it
elderly right now?
Elderly right now.
Elderly, yes.
What makes you want to? What's the intrinsic reward that you get for the job that you're doing?
If I can put a smile on somebody's face, if I can help them in some small way, that's what does it for me.
And you say it's about being there, it's about giving. There's not a lot of difference between that and doing the motorcycle ride, then, is there?
That's why I'm here today, especially with this gentleman right here. All the rides, whether
you know this guy?
Well, not personally, but he's a good.
You do now.
I do now. He's a good guy. I've seen him.
You're in trouble now.
Every ride that we've ever gone on has been for a good cause. It doesn't just have to be cancer. It can be anything.
Yeah.
It can be anything. It's
and
to support
there's
people.
A lot of causes out there that need support.
Oh, I could write a book.
So when you go to group rides and you get to surround yourself with this part of the motorcycle community, what do you get out of it the most?
What do I get? The compassion that I see from people on this ride. They give their souls, they give their hearts. Everybody's very generous. There's no discrimination. and I feel 100% better after I've gotten on the ride and gotten back home.
You hit on something that I've said many times on camera. It's the intrinsic reward that you get, the feeling that you get of just having helped someone out. Steve and I were joking a few minutes ago about not getting paid to do stuff like this and how much it costs to do stuff like this.
It's
And
not about money.
that's half-hearted joking because
He hasn't been coming around this summer because he can't afford it no more.
we're in contract renegotiation. Isn't going so well, but
You can afford it. There's always
but-
somebody out there.
No,
that's
I've
willing
got
to
a buck
help.
right here,
Yeah.
dollar.
There's a dollar. Call someone who
I got a
cares.
dollar.
You know, the intrinsic reward that you get out of something like that's why
Yep.
we keep doing it. It's why I
Right.
miss it so much. And I haven't been around as much this summer is because I miss the camaraderie. I miss associating with people like you and getting to know people like you, and meeting the recipients of these
Yes.
causes if it's an individual. And just interacting with some great people and the intrinsic reward that you get, you know, you can't put a price tag on that.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank
all right,
you,
we
thank
with me here, I have Doc Layton, president of the Hooligans trademark, right?
Hooligan Riders.
The Hooligan Riders. And we're here to participate and film the ride for Jackson this morning.
Yep.
So I want to learn a little bit about Jackson. Doc, why don't you share with us what this little boy is going through and why we're gathering today.
All right, so Jackson is 6 years old. He just turned 6. He is in stage 3 leukemia. I believe he has Asperger's to go with it. So he's got a battle on a battle. He's doing very well. He's getting towards remission. He's doing chemo. He is one of the most intense little boys I've ever met in my life. And
What do you mean by that?
he's just laser focused. He knows what he likes. He knows what he wants, and there's no gray areas with him because of the Asperger's. So he's very hyper focused on everything he does, and he loves bikes.
All right. And so how did you come to meet Jackson, and what's the relation? How did this all come to happen?
He was recommended to us by somebody, and I can't remember who it was for the life of me.
And that's to be okay, because Doc has his own medical issues that he's going through. So
This is about kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about me.
no, it's not. But you can relate and identify with the young man, can you not?
I can.
Yeah.
I can. I'm going through this as an adult, you know, being in stage 4. I can't imagine being a child and going through this.
Right.
It's just, I know how I feel. And I can't imagine being a child going through
And just
it.
how do you feel, so that we get an idea of what Jackson may be going through?
Cancer sucks. It does. I have 2 forms, metastatic, so I'm fighting it right now, doing chemo. I just had chemo, and here I am today.
Yeah, you were saying how the ride in this morning was a little extra chilly because you're sensitive. You're more temperature sensitive because
Very
of the
much,
chemo that
yeah.
you're going through and
One of
such.
the chemo drugs makes me very temperature sensitive, so it was like negative 40 for me this morning, whereas it was 50 degrees out. So
Yeah, but you have your wits about you, and you seem
for
to be
now.
okay, right?
I'm still here.
Yeah. Are there any other unforeseen struggles that you go through with cancer that?
No.
You know, so people can sympathize with those. You know, we all know cancer sucks, but we don't know until we've gone through it ourselves, really, right?
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, Steve. It's probably one of the worst things I've ever dealt with in my life.
Hopefully, we get to meet Jackson himself
Yes, we
and
will.
talk with his parents, maybe,
Yep.
and him.
They're great people. They really are. They're working hard to keep their kid going.
Right. Right. So we're going to wish them all the best, and we're going to try to make a little boy's day today. Can't go wrong. We got sunshine. It's October 21st. It's absolutely beautiful. We're going to be hitting temperatures in the 70s today, and that makes for a really great day, even though the cause that we're riding for is a serious one and
Still going to be a beautiful
and a
day.
touching one, right?
Get a beautiful day for
Absolutely.
Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
Everything.
All right, I'm here with another one of the hooligan riders here. This is Doug. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. What a beautiful day for it.
Yeah. So, I wanted to get your attention and talk with you a little bit, because being a hooligan rider, how long have you been with this group?
Just about a year now.
Just about a year. And what inspired you to join a group like the Hooligans?
Well, I've always been an advocate for helping kids, and my president, founder and president, Ed, who we lost a short time ago, just came to me at work one day and started telling me what he did, and I knew where my home was going to be. and I've been with them ever since.
Right. He's got a strange beeping sound coming out of his vest or something.
Yeah.
It sounds like a little siren. But anyways, so in your year that you've been with the Hooligans, share with us some of the experiences that you've been through.
Oh, the kids that we sponsor, I mean, it's just the feeling that I get from doing whatever we can for them, and for other clubs also. You know, I try, and all my free time, I just try and support other clubs and obviously our kids to try and make their life a little bit better and put a smile on their face when they're not feeling so well and they're challenged in life. And that's what I live for, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. It's a great feeling, and it makes the kids happy.
So what do you do when you're not a hooligan? What are you? What do you do for a living?
I work for Patriot Mechanical. My former president worked for them and tried to get me on board, and that's my new home.
How long have you been riding, by the way?
31 years this year.
31 years. Getting old, ain't we?
Yeah, it's, you know, I feel like I'm 25. This keeps us young.
You know, that's why we stay immature. We want to stay immature because we want to stay young, right?
I don't want to stop riding my bike.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Doug. I
very
really
much,
appreciate it,
Thank
buddy. All right. Okay, I went and found another gal here, or I think the dog did. I don't know. The magnet's laying on the ground there, Apollo.
He's awfully
and
handsome.
so look, we got Pam Peasley with us today, Todd.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Awesome.
Pam showed up to support Jackson's ride for the Hooligans, and you know, you've been riding quite a while, haven't you, Pam? How long have you been riding?
Oh gosh, I've been riding for 20 plus years. Yeah, absolutely, and I love it, and I love supporting this kind of cause.
Right.
I met.
And you know, Todd and I were talking to another young lady just before you, and one of the questions Todd asked. So you got to start thinking up new questions because I'm stealing yours. I'm going to steal yours, okay? But he brought up to her, you know, what it feels like to come to these kinds of events, and what kind of words of encouragement would you, you know, offer to the people watching the show to want to come and, you know, to encourage them to come and participate in one of these rides?
Oh gosh, the feeling is just indescribable. You see people come together that know each other and people that don't know each other but become really good friends before the ride is done, supporting great causes. And I met Jax and his family last year, and they just grab your heart. And so seeing the positive things that come out of it just makes you want to do more. It's addictive almost.
Well, listen, you two, you have a great day, okay? And
Thank you, you too.
we're going to go on a nice, beautiful ride. I mean, it's October 21st. The sun is out. Is what an awesome day. It really is. It's
Yes,
beautiful.
it is.
So we're very fortunate.
Thank you very much.
Enough said.
Thank you all for coming. For those of you who haven't met him, Jax is here somewhere. She's in the bathroom. This is all for Jax today. He's 6 years old. He's fighting stage 3 leukemia. Stage 3, right? And is doing very well. For those of you guys who haven't met him yet, he's a very intense little boy. He's an awesome little boy, and this is what we're here for. My road captain Ghost is going to go over the route with everybody. We're going to have a nice, easy, safe ride. I want nobody getting hurt, taking any chances. If you miss the light, we're not going to be going that fast. You guys just catch up to us. We are going to have blockers. We are going to have road guards. So if anybody else is not comfortable in the pack, if you want to ride in the back, that's fine. We do have 2 seal gunners that'll be coming up through, working their way through. Steve Maroy from Riding Steel will be coming through and filming, shooting up our sides, just to let you know. We'll be pulling over, joining back in. So just be on the lookout for him. Pretty much everybody's inexperienced right here, so I think we're good.
Stephen Royce, what do you think?
Well, I think that we're off for a pretty good ride today. I mean, to be riding this time of year is just amazing. It
And
really
t-shirts.
is. And the Hooligans have a good turnout here today for the ride. I'm going to guess probably about 30 plus motorcycles have showed up, which means about 40 to 50 people. This is probably one of their biggest rides yet.
Where's the ride go? Do you know the
Very happy.
details?
We're ending up right around the corner here, which is about a mile, but you know us bikers, we go like this. So we're going to take about, you know, an hour to probably get there from here. And that's how it goes. So
As it should.
you have a wonderful day, Todd.
You as well.
Take
Ride
care of
safe.
yourself. Our ride was to take us to the Gold Room in Portland, Maine, where the riders were to enjoy a delicious meal and the hooligan riders were to hold a silent auction in hopes of increasing the funds raised to assist Jax's family. This provided me an opportunity to speak with his dad. All right, we're here at the final destination, which is the Gold Room. Apparently they opened their doors up, or this venue up, for the hooligan riders. And with me I have Jackson's father, and your name, sir, is?
Dave Pilcher.
Dave, I appreciate you coming out here to talk with me, all right? And I want to know, or I want to learn and share with the viewers as much as possible about Jackson. And so let's start with describing, first of all, what he has for cancer.
What Jackson has is a blood type of cancer. It's called acute lymphatic leukemia, ALL. There's two types. There's type B, there's type L. Fortunately for Jackson, he has type B, which is the more curable, versus type L, which is more difficult to cure.
Right, but because he seems very energetic. This morning when he showed up at Big Moose Harley Davidson, he looked like a typical, normal, healthy young boy to me. And but this afternoon, we're here and Jackson's getting tired, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. You know, I always say to people, I'll put you in a room and you can look at him with other 6-year-old kids, and I defy you to pick out the kid with leukemia. You'd never do it just by looking at him on the outside. You know, on the inside, obviously it's a different story with all of the chemo that he goes through and the once-a-month trips into Boston to Tufts Floating Hospital for his chemo infusions and his lumbar punctures. But overall, like I said, you'd never know he has leukemia other than the medications that he takes.
And how long has he been battling this disease?
Yeah, he was diagnosed back in July of 2015, and hopefully he's in remission October of 2018. So hopefully this time next year he is in remission and he's done with all of his treatments and the medication he has to take at night. And we're moving on to the next phase with him.
Wow, well, now won't that be wonderful, huh? Yeah. So what's it been like for Jackson since July of 2015?
It's been very difficult. You know, words like lumbar puncture and methotrexate and 6-NP, all of the drugs that he takes just have become part of our everyday nomenclature around the house. So you learn pretty quickly about what the drugs do and what their side effects are and you know, just the current path that he's on. So it's been challenging at times. And then at times it's been rewarding because you can see the progress that he makes, and he's making very good progress with the medication that he's on.
Yeah, just before leaving from Big Moose, I had the camera off, of course. I always miss the good stuff, you know. Yeah. But he's standing there and he's going, "I'm strong," and he's like really, determined, to beat this. And he was addressing everybody after they had just introduced Jackson to the crowd there.
Right, you're right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. The thing with this type of leukemia is it's completely different in kids as opposed to adults like yourself and me, that if we were to get it, it's probably terminal for us. But for kids, it's one of these leukemias that it seems to be able to be cured, and kids just live normal lives. I mean, granted, when he was at Tufts, he was pretty miserable for those 87 days that he was in the hospital straight. But once he got out of the hospital and he started into his own routine in his bed and, being around the house and the family, he came around very quickly.
Right. So he was 3 years old when this happened?
Right. Yeah,
and now he's 6, right? He just turned 6 recently?
September 26th, he turned 6, yes.
Yeah. So does he go to school by any chance?
Yes, he does. He's in first grade. He missed all of pre-kindergarten, being that he was in the hospital. But yes, he does go to school now, Pelham Elementary School.
And how's he doing in school? Is he able to stick out a full day?
Yes, he's definitely there the full day. And he, puts in the work like all the other students do. One of the other downsides with him is that he's autistic. So that presents a whole new set of challenges with the autism. So it was difficult with the food and trying to get him to eat certain things. And so, you combine the chemo with food not tasting well, and now it's really difficult to try to get him to eat.
Yeah, and nourishment is the key, isn't it? He's got to eat.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, then the hooligans come into the picture somehow. And how did that connection get established? And share with us, what it's like to have a group of people like the Hooligans basically adopt and support your family like you're their own.
Yeah, the Hooligans. I can never say enough good things about them. How I met the Hooligans was I was in the process of refinancing my home, and the woman, who was a local woman, lived in Massachusetts, was a good friend of the Hooligans because her daughter has some ailments that the Hooligans have been supporting her and her family for and doing rides for them. So over the course of like 2 months in the process of trying to refinance the house, you eventually start talking about more personal things, your family life, this and that. Well, she found out about Jackson. At that point, she said, listen, I know this group of bikers. She says they're a charity organization. She says, and they would love to come in and help you guys out. And at first, I was a little resistant to it. And she let it go. And then the next time we spoke a few weeks later, she brought it up again. And I says, you know what? Okay, that's fine. I says, I'd like to meet the Hooligans and see what they're all about. So within a 24-hour time period, I got a phone call from the president at the time, Rocker, and he introduced himself, told me what they were all about, and he came to the house with about 6 or 7 guys. All like they rode in a vehicle, a truck. They didn't have their motorcycles because it was winter time. And they came in the house, they introduced themselves and told us what they're all about, and just kind of like went on their way. And one of the great things about them
They didn't crack open a few beers and start lighting
offered.
cigarettes up around.
I offered if they wanted drinks. They says, no, we're just here to say hello, talk with you guys, and meet you. That was it. And but the great thing about them is that like they're not like it's like after this event is over, I'm gonna get a phone call from Doc, one of those guys. They're gonna call me 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How's it been? So it's not like it's just a one and done event and we'll catch you in 6 months at the next one. Like they care. They keep in touch. They talk with you, and that's one of the things that really, really like touches my heart.
Yeah. They've basically you're like a brother to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They definitely are an extended family to my wife and my kids. The way they care and they come around and they've been at my house like 2 or 3 times over the course of the summer, and we've done cookouts with them, and they just hang out, come say hi. They brought my son his own little his vest that you probably saw him wearing today. Yep. So they're just a fantastic group of guys and girls.
Awesome. Wow, it sounds to me that this ride was a good ride today. We had 40-plus riders show up for this for the Hooligans and support them.
Right.
They're inside right now. They got silent auction going on, some raffles, 50-50s. Yeah. They're going to try to raise as much as they can for you.
Right.
But, the message that I'm getting loud and clear here is that the support system, of them just, of all of you being friends and, sharing that fellowship, that camaraderie is very important to you,
It absolutely is. And I've said this time in and time out, they're always welcome at my home. You're driving through New Hampshire, you don't stop off in Pelham, New Hampshire, I'm not going to be happy with you. You stop off, you come to the house.
Yeah, that's great. I want to wish you the best with your son, Jackson, and we're going to all hope for the best for Jackson so that in 2018, hopefully he will be in remission and that this can be put behind him. I just hope he's not in any pain, that's at all, period. No kid should have to go through it.
Yeah, he's not in pain at all. He's fine. Yeah. Give it time. You'll see him running around eventually today, and he's fine.
That'll be great. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Absolutely. All right, this program is nearing its end, and people are beginning. They just ate a delicious meal here at the Gold Room. Awesome. I mean, my God, the guy put out a spread of chicken wings, shepherd's pie, pizza, pasta, lasagna. I think it was even chicken parmesan in there.
Fried chicken.
Yeah, meatball. It was awesome.
Kitchen sink. It was awesome, isn't it?
It really was. And the ride went very well today.
It was a beautiful day, 77 degrees out.
Nice turnout of about 60 people, 40-something bikes.
Yeah. We did it. The last ride is in the books. Thank you, Rocco.
All right. Folks, please tune in again next week for Ride and Steel. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
The Hooligan Riders are a child advocacy group founded by the late Edward Stanhope. Ed lost his life due to a motorcycle accident that took place on August 19 of 2017. His legacy, however, will remain alive and well as the Hooligan Riders continue to be committed to his mission. Rest in peace, Ed.
Ride and Steel is brought to you in part by Ray Labby & Sons Excavation and Paving. Ride and Steel wishes to thank Ray Labby & Sons for their continued support and their dedication to community.